Yes, hello everyone. Good morning. Yes, everyone. Good morning. Yes, Shirgil. Good morning. Priti. Good morning. Am I audible to all of you? Yes, am I audible to all of you? Loud and clear. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Harshvardhan Singh, and on this platform, I'm going to teach you world history, all the aspects of history, optional, international relation, and economics. I'm having 8-year experience as an educator at Delhi, Pune, and Nagpur. Earlier, I was selected as Intelligence Bureau officer, and now in this lecture we are going to discuss international relations. So those who haven't taken subscription, please take a subscription of Unacademy. It will help you a lot. And if you compare with the any other platform, it is the what we can say, at the lower price you are getting the best guidance, and along with that one assurity is always there that we are definitely going to cover the syllabus. Okay, whatever may be the case, we provide you the options like 1 month subscription, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, but I insist you to have a subscription for 12 months. Yes, we have a subscription of plus and iconic. In the iconic subscription we are going to provide everything including test series, live classes, including the study planner and personal guidance. Whenever you want to take the admission, please, or whenever you want to take a subscription, please use my code Harshvi10. It will help you to get 10% discount and you are considered as my student. Okay, so how many people are there? Shirgil Priti is there. Okay, so a quick recap of last lecture. In the last lecture we discussed about Indo-Nepal. In the Indo-Nepal we discussed the points, that is India and Nepal treaty. The friendship treaty was there. Because of that treaty, India and Nepal is having open border. Along with that, for a long time India was one of the key strategic partner to the Nepal. In all sense, India was having monopoly over Nepal in terms of trade, in terms of cultural things. Along with that, there, as the border is open, so Nepalese people can considered as a citizen, means at par with the citizen of India. So that's why the borders were open. They can have a job, employment in India. Indians also can travel to Nepal. So such type of cordial relation there for a long time. We mentioned earlier, that is India is connected with Nepal through all these things. Geographical reason were there, historical reason were there, religious reason were there, economic reason were there, military reason were there, and linguistic reason were there. For example, as we mentioned, the geographical reason, Nepal is landlocked country and they are having more affiliation with the India as because of the Taran region. Historical, we already mentioned. Religious, the majority people in Nepal belongs to the Hinduism, and India is also having majority people as a Hinduism. So that's why that connection is there. Economic connection, as we mentioned, that India was having monopoly over the trade and other aspects of it. Along with that, we mentioned the military, and yes, we mentioned that even the Nepali general were honorary general in the Indian army. That is Gorkha regiment and all. We all mentioned it. And languages, yes, Nepali is one of the language in our schedule. Yes, the 22 languages are there in the schedule. So Nepali is one of them, and along with that, our languages, Bhojpuri, Maithili, is also used to speak in that area. So we have a connectivity with them. Matrimonial relations with also with Nepal. Then we mention the political developments in the Nepal. So first we mention the Rana established a control over it. Ranas were basically prime minister. King was just of namesake. Rana is having control. Then we mention that in 1951 there was a revolt against this Rana, and end of the Rana's rule and monarchy continued there. 1951 to 1959 there was a democratic experiment, but assumed the power monarchy assumed the power, and they continue their what we can say hold over them. Then panchayati system we mentioned in 1959 there was a panchayati system established, but it was just a namesake, most of the power with the king. Finally in 1919 there was first Jan Andolan. That Jan Andolan ended the absolute monarchy in establishment of democracy. But after that there was a civil unrest, and finally there was second Jan Andolan, and that led by Moist and establishment that leads to establishment of democracy and dissolution of kingship. We mentioned 2006 peace accord with Nepal. This peace accord Moist brought into mainstream politics. India played most important role in that. There were several problems with that instability, new constitution, problems of Mahadeshis and all. And finally, this everybody knew this thing, that economic blockade for 6 months, and because of this blockade, India lost their good friend. As we mentioned earlier, that India was having monopoly over Nepal. Indian oil was the sole supplier of petroleum product to Nepal, and because of this reason, because of this economic blockade, we provided the opportunity for China to enter into Nepali market. Then we mentioned the background of peace treaty earlier. The peace treaty was between India and Nepal for friendship treaty, and we mentioned visa free travel, open border and all. Okay. Then we mentioned about the border dispute. The border dispute were there, Kalapani and Susta, these were the areas and how it is there. Here we mentioned that Susta river changes their course, that is Gandak river, and that's why this Susta area is in conflict. In 1962, India captured this Kalapani, and recently it was in news. And why this open border is having problem, the problem of infiltration is there, illegal movement is there, narcotics and all. So we all knew this thing. So these were the problem, and India wants to just develop a strong relationship with the Nepal in terms of hydro diplomacy. And why it is so? Because Nepal is a source of many Indian rivers. Most of the Indian rivers are emerged from Himalayas, and we want to tap the potential of it, as India required energy. Yes, India required energy, and Nepal is having that potential to produce that much energy, but Nepal is not utilizing is Nepal is using fraction of it. And why it is so? Because the reason was basically Nepal is having geographical regions, seismic activities are there. As you know that Himalaya region is a of hotspot of earthquakes. So that's why they don't want to use this opportunity, and because of the reason is geographical reason. Next, so till this point we discuss now in today's lecture we are going to discuss the challenges between India and Nepal in recent times. Okay, just a moment. So challenges in Indo-Nepal relation. So do you have any question query related to the last lecture? Yes, anybody is having any question, any query related to last lecture? Yes, now my voice is audible to all of you. Yes, everyone, voice is audible to all of you. Yes, any doubt, any query related to the last lecture or whatever we discussed earlier? Because if you are having doubt, yes, Keshav, I'm taking IR here on daily basis. Yes, because of the holiday, Diwali vacation was there, so I was not there. Okay, yes, Bhanupriya, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, is there any doubt, any question? No, I don't think so. You have a doubt. And yes, those who join me in this session, so I request you all to attend my world history lectures as well. Along with that, this is not a one-way communication that I'm going to speak something and you're going to listen and you're going to sit there. No, I don't want that. It is a two-way communication. Whatever the questions, queries are there, you can ask me directly. I don't have any problem, and I'm not here to judge you. Clear? So please feel free to ask the question, and questions are always silly, so do not consider they are intellectual. Questions are silly, so that's why you are asking, and it's my duty to answer to your question. Clear? So please feel free to ask the question, and I want the session to be interactive so that we can enjoy the learning. Okay. Yes, everyone. Now, there is no doubt at all. In the last lecture, we discussed clearly between Indo and Nepal relation. So now these are the challenges emerged in recent time. And as I mentioned, when the economic blockade was there, when economic blockade was there for more than 6 months, and it provided the best opportunity for China to enter into Nepal through economic route. So what are the challenges in the bilateral relation between India and Nepal? The first most important challenge, that is political transition, is going on in Nepal, as the three political parties are there in Nepal. One is Nepali Congress, the other party is Communist Party, that is Marxist and Lenin, and the third party is Maoist. Yes, the three parties are there, and India's relation with these three parties are quite different, as India supported the idea of Nepalese Congress much more than we are supporting the idea of Maoist. So it is our relation, that is India's relation with these parties are like this. As first preference is for Nepali Congress, second preference is for Communist Party, Marxist, and third is for Maoist. So this is our approach. And what happened, as everybody knew about this thing, as Nepal in 2005 onward, that is 6 we mentioned, 6 onward, there was a peace accord was signed, and they started drafting their constitution. Mini government, the drafting constitution was a very lengthy process. Yes, drafting of constitution was very lengthy process, and because of that reason there was a transition, and in that transition several governments, sometimes Nepali Congress ruled, sometimes Marxist Leninist party ruled, and sometimes Maoist ruled Nepal. So this transition was so fast that it gave little time to India to fix the policy with the Nepal, because earlier we mentioned India and Nepal was having friendship treaty. Though the treaty is there, but now relation is quite changes. And every political party, that is Nepali Congress, is having different view with the India. Means they are having friendly relation with the India. Maoists are not having so much friendly relation with India, and this party is having mixed approach. Clear? So it was very difficult for us to establish a relation with them, because with the change and frequent change of the government, it's very difficult for us to develop such relations. Clear? So that is the first challenge, that there was a political transition and instability going on in Nepal. So it's very difficult for us to establish a relation. Along with that, one more problem before that, India support Nepal in the all aspect, but India didn't tap the opportunities. Means India support the peace accord in 2006. We mentioned the peace accord was there. India played a key role in the first Jan Andolan in 1990. India played an important role in 2005. India played an important role, but India didn't trap the opportunity, gap the opportunity. Clear? So that is one of the challenge in our relationships. Next important thing, that is second point, cooperation in developing water resources. As I mentioned here, hydro diplomacy. The earlier we mentioned hydro diplomacy. India is energy hungry country. India wants energy, and Nepal is having ample source of energy. We want to tap it, but as Nepal is reluctant to it. Nepal is not cooperating with us. So that's why this is another challenge, cooperation in developing water resources. We ask them to allow India to build the dam. We are going to manufacture, we are going to build the dam, we are going to purchase the energy, but still Nepal is not supporting that much to India. Clear? Next, this is another important challenge, presence of China. As I mentioned in this lecture only, that we provided the opportunity to China to enter into Nepal. And now China, why China is a problematic thing for us? As we mentioned the map, suppose this is the India's map, and here is Nepal. Here is Nepal, here is India. As we mentioned, Nepal is a landlocked country. With the entry of China into this area means it creates India a vulnerable country for next aggression. Clear? Because as China is pursuing a policy of encircling India from all the sides. Because why it is so? Because India and China are the emerging powers in this century, and China doesn't want India to be grow as much as China. So diplomatically, militarily, strategically, China wants to subdue India. So that's why they want to take this opportunity, as Nepalese and Indians relations are strained due to many factors, and Nepal become a vulnerable for, or Nepal is going to be victim in this case. So China, why China? Presence of China is problematic. China wants to replace India as a strategic key partner. And how it is possible? By providing economic and financial support. That is a very simple aspect. Providing economic and financial support is a very simple aspect, as we know that as compared to India, Nepal is backward in all the sense, and mostly in the economic concern. So China wants to grab this opportunity, and this create a problem for India, because presence of China near to Indian border. Along with that, Nepal and India is having open border. So there is more scope for infiltration, as China is going to wage a proxy war against the India. That is also the problem for us. As you know that some of the movies and all, you have watched the Bollywood movies, you get sometimes reference that Nepal is basically a breeding ground for the terrorists from Bangladesh or terrorists from Pakistan. They entered into Nepal and then they tried to enter into India. So such problems are there, and China is definitely going to help them to hurt the Indian interest. Clear? So that's why presence of China is also challenge for us in this area. Next, that is trade and economic cooperation with the China, with the Nepal is also problematic thing or a challenge for us. That is trade imbalance is in favor of India. As we mentioned earlier, that if India is giving any sending any product to Nepal is of worth 100 rupees, Nepal is not in a position to provide that of 10 rupees only. So that is the imbalance in the trade. Clear? Yes. So these are the key challenges for India. Okay. Next, why China is so much interested in that area? That is also important point. Why China and what are the reasons? So here the Chinese interest in Nepal for many reasons. The first, that is Nepal was a strategic partner of India for a long time. Yes, Nepal was a strategic partner of India for a long time, and now China wants to grab this opportunity. Now China wants to grab this opportunity, and one more reason, that is just China wants to replace India as a strategic partner. The second, China signed a trade and transit agreement with the Nepal. As we mentioned before that economic blockade, we had a cordial relation with each other. But after that, China took this opportunity. As we mentioned lots of time, that is Nepal is a landlocked country. They were totally dependent on India, and they considered India as a close nation, friend nation to them. But when there was an economic blockade was there, their situation was very worst. Means just imagine in India the lockdown was declared and how people are stuck into that, and how what are the problems they face. It's the same type of problem Nepal faces, and this provided the opportunity to China to enter into Nepal, and they grabbed this opportunity by signing a trade and transit agreement with Nepal. That is the second reason. Okay, third, another important thing, that is China is started establishing a rail link project. Means from Tibet area, as you know that Tibet shares border with Nepal. So China wants to enter into this area through railway link. So do you really think so? Do you really think so that this railway project is for the benefit of Nepal? Yes, do you really think so that whatever the China is doing with the Nepal right now, they are providing everything, it is for the benefits of Nepal only? Yes, everyone? Yes, Preeti, Shergil, Bhanupriya, what do you think that when China is helping? Yes, Nilesh is also there. Yes, no, of course. The vested interest of China is there. They do not want to support Nepal. Why they are supporting Nepal? So in future, if there is a war between India and China, then China can attack India from all the sides. So that's why China is trying to encircle India. Clear? Doklam is another issue we are going to discuss in Bhutan relation. So through Tibet, China can enter into Nepal, and from Nepal they can attack India from this side. Pakistan, they have an open door. Yes, because Pakistan is totally dependent on Chinese help, so they can open the door. The same way Nepal is there, same way here Bhutan is there, the same way as they tried to break our relation with the Bhutan, but Indian Bhutan relations are strong enough till today. Along with that, Bangladesh. The Bangladesh, they signed the trade pact with the Bangladesh and they support their activity. Even the Sri Lanka, we mentioned how they are Hambantota. So this is the strategy of China to encircle India and to pressurize them so that India could not focus more on their economic aspect. They have to think a lot about their neighbors. That is the problem. So that's why rail link is under progress between between China and Nepal. Next, the pact of joint military exercise. That is more concerning thing for India. As in this lecture only I mentioned that is Gorkha regiment. Gorkha regiment is one of the most important regiment of Indian army. Along with that, I mentioned that Nepalese generals are honorary generals in India. India provided the training to them and all. So if we are having so much cordial relation with each other, then why there is a need of joint military exercise with the China? Why? Because China is trying to control the area. China is trying to end the India's military relation with the Nepal through this joint military exercise. And why it is so? Because in the joint military exercise, China is providing the best weapons to them. China is showing their strength to this country, and maybe it's their policy to pursue Nepal that instead of having friendship with India, it's better to have friendship with China. And why it is so? Because they can convince we are more powerful than India in all aspects. So such type of situation is there. So that's why the pact between this military exercise, this pact was basically more concerning thing for India and India's relation with Nepal. Next, one more thing concerning economic aspect, that is Nepal backed the BRI project. BRI project, what is this BRI project? Yes, Shagil, you mentioned because China is dominating country over other. Yes, it's their approach. They are aggressive in nature. They followed the expansionist policy, and every century such countries are always there. We mentioned earlier Britain and France pursued this policy, then Germany pursued this policy, and now China is pursuing the same policy of aggression, expansion, and dominance. What is BRI project? Belt and Road. What's the significance of it? Do you know they followed Belt and Road Initiative of China? Yes, Belt and Road Initiative of China. We mentioned earlier. Do you remember that one? Yes, actually, Belt and Road Initiative. One road, one road policy. One means basically what's this policy? One road, one port. This policy was basically to develop the infrastructure. This BRI project is basically to develop the infrastructure in the form of road, in the form of railway network, in the form of port and all. And they supported this. Nepal supported this. So do you think so? Why we are opposing that much then? China is doing so much for every country. China is developing road for them. China is going to develop the railway network and everything. So don't you think so? Yes, to revive the Silk Route. When Silk Route was there, so they want to develop the Silk Route from Asia to Europe and all through sea route and through land route. So such kind of policy they are following. Why it is challenge for India? Why this Nepal backing to BRI project is a challenge for Indo-Nepal relation? What do you think? Why it is a matter of concern for us? As India is not a part of BRI. Yes, India is not a part of BRI. Why India is having so much concern for BRI then? It's okay, Nepal, it's a Nepal's choice. Nepal wants it, Nepal joins it. That's it. Nepal backed it. What's the problem with India then? Yes, everyone. What do you think? What's the problem? Don't you think Nepal is an independent sovereign state? They have their own choices. Yes, Shergil, what you said, because we are lagging behind China. Is that the case? Yeah, of course, that is truth. That is, India is lagging. It's okay. But why we are having concern that one independent state is backing the project of another independent state? Yes. What do you think? What do you think? What's the problem? Why India is having concern? Why India considered it as a challenge? Why India is considered Nepal's backing? Because it passes from Kashmir. Cheap goods will be dumped into India. Nilesh, they are already dumping it. Diwali was there and there was a hashtag ban Chinese product through the Chinese mobile. Ashwini said Himalayas come in between. Sankalpa said because it passes from Kashmir. Of course, that is also the reason. As you know, India always have firm belief that Kashmir and Kashmiris are integral part of India. Clear? So this road is going to pass through POK. That is one more reason for India. Why? Because it is a question of our sovereignty. But along with that, the why it is a matter of concern because of the same reason. Through this infrastructure project, China is basically wants to encircle India in all the aspect. And you know that it is very easy for China to transport their military, transport their material from one part of China to other at fast rate, because it allows great opportunity to China to have a geographical, political. Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. It is a matter of concern for us because as compared to China, Nepal is a weak country and India is having fear that they will be fall into the trap of neo-colonialism. Right now, it's very what you can say attractive thing for them, but maybe they are going to be a victim of this neo-colonialism. You know that China is investing so much into that particular country, but China said that this country has to provide that amount of money, and if they are not going to, then China is going to take control of it. Basically it is a question mark over the sovereignty of that particular country as well. Yes, exactly, Preeti. Means China can control these countries. They are going to be fall of neo-colonialism. So that's why it is a matter of concern and it's a neighbor. If Nepal is going to fall into this trap, it is definitely going to hurt the India's interest in all the terms, socio-politico-economic terms. So that's why it's a matter of concern for India. Sergil asked me what is neocolonialism. I'm going to explain this thing in world history lecture, but right now, just I want to mention in short because this topic I'm going to discuss in detail in world history lecture. Colonialism is a tool of exploitation. Yes, it is a tool of exploitation. And neo is new, means new way of exploitation. And this exploitation is always having economic angle. Clear? Neocolonialism is basically economic exploitation of that country without establishing direct control. Clear? next next important sixth thing, that is China is providing broadband internet connectivity to Nepal. With this, it is end of India's monopoly. Now tell me, what's the problem with India? Why India is having problem when they are getting their internet connection? Yes, tell me one thing. Why India is having problem when China is providing them internet? Just because of it, it is ending India's monopoly. Yes, just do you think so that India's monopoly is ending, so that's why India is having concern? Let me tell you one example. As suppose if you are a poor person, if you're a poor person and you are not in a position to fulfill your day-to-day needs or daily expenditure, and I'm a rich person, I saw you, empathy developed, and I said that okay, don't worry, I'm going to provide you everything. So then I'm going to provide you job, I'm going to provide you house, going to provide you resources. So here is you, here is I, and here is some of your friend. He is watching. Why this person is having problem with this relation? Am I right or wrong? Here is you. Let's consider you as a Nepal. Here is China. Here is India. This country is poor. This country is rich. They are going to provide internet. They are going to provide other resources. Then why the problem is with India? Do you think so that India is hurted because Mukesh Bhai didn't get opportunity? Yes, do you think so that Mukesh Bhai didn't get the opportunity to expand his Dhandanadan scheme there? That's why we are so sorry for that. Yes, are you there? Nilesh is there. Nilesh said that no, no, it is not the case. Shergill said, right, sir. Mukesh Bhai is. It's very common question that Nepal is having lack of resources. China is providing them. Why India is having problem then? And basically, this is a broadband connectivity. Don't you think so? India is going to provide the means sorry, India is providing internet facilities to the African nation because his friend think that he will break his friendship because relationship of India is affected. They aren't anymore dependent on India. That's why. Don't you think so? Monopoly is the wrong thing. Means if you don't know that thing, then just imagine the situation of India pre 1991. Monopoly of companies were there, and when there is a monopoly, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Means earlier you have to use that only scooter. Now you have lots of options. You can use any moped. You can use the bike. You have all the options. So if monopoly is there, monopoly is a dangerous thing. As well as his wealth will be more than him. It's wrong. Monopoly is always wrong. If Nepal is getting choice, then why should we have to worry? It's their choice. But yes, what Nilesh said, Roti Biti ka Rishta is there with the Nepal, and the new relation is going to hurt us as China debt trap diplomacy that is there. Here, what I want to mention that India and Nepal is having friendship. Nepal and India is having friendship, and you know that friend in need, friend indeed. Yes, of course, ending India's monopoly is always a good choice for any country or any monopoly. India never supports such thing. Monopoly. India is always opposing that thing because the principle of NAM is always against the principle of establishment of control of one country over the other country. But as here we mentioned the example that you are there, Nepal is there, China is there, and you are having friendship with that as a nature of friend. Do you really think so? Do you really think so? Your friend gets hurt by any other person as as let let me explain with help of normal example so that it will be clear for you. Here is you, here is your friend, and here is some unknown person. They are started developing good relations with each other, but you are unhappy with it. And why you are unhappy? Because you know the intention. You know the intention of this person. This person is shrewd, cunning. So do you really think so you are going to allow your friend to maintain this relationship? Yes, Nilesh, that is also the case that China gets direct entry to. That is always there. But my question is here basically when you know that your friend is having relationship with any particular person and that person is cunning, cruel, and your friend is going to suffer. So when you know the intention of that unknown person, do you really feel happy or allow your friend to develop such relationship? Yes or no? Of course not. Friend in need, friend in need. And just replace this thing. There's you with India, your friend with Nepal, an unknown person with the China. And India knows the relation between Nepal and China. It is not based on friendship relation. It is based on opportunity. China wants to grab this opportunity to control Nepal and to subdue India. Clear? So that's why it is a matter of concerning for us. And here it is mentioned that China is providing broadband internet connectivity to Nepal, and this ends the India's monopoly. And why it is dangerous thing? as you know that Google is banned in China, Facebook is banned in China. When they are going to provide that, they are going to offer Chinese apps or any other thing, and there is a possibility of propaganda. And after that, it is data. This data is highly sensitive. Yes, exactly, Shagir. Clear? There is ban of Google and all. That means no free internet is there, no freedom. And you know that after 2012, India is also victim of this trap, that is fake news and all over the WhatsApp and other social media platform. Why it is so? Because rumors can easily spread through this medium. And if it happen, if there is a control internet and the control is all with the China, then it will create a problem for India. The fake propaganda against India is going to circulate in that area. That is also the matter of concern for us. And most of the trade relations and everything is right now built over internet. Internet is an essential aspect. That's why that is a matter of concern for India. Clear to everyone? Yes, everyone? Clear? Yes or no? Please reply. Yes, is it? Yes, okay, good. Next, result of Chinese intervention. We mentioned these are the challenges, how China is doing so. So we should know the result, the consequences of it. The consequences of Chinese intervention is first thing, that is encircled in India. Their main intention is basically to hurt the Indian interest. The second thing, India is losing its economic hold in Nepal. That is a more concern thing for us. As earlier we mentioned that Nepal was having around 80% plus trade with India. Yes, 80% plus trade with India. So, and of course, India is having trade surplus, so it was a profitable trade for us. So, it hurted the economic interest, economic hold over Nepal. Clear? Next, end of Indian monopoly. End of Indian monopoly over the all aspect, political aspect, social aspect, and economic aspect. Political aspect, how it was there. End of Indian monopoly, the political aspect of it. How? As we mentioned, Nepal is an independent sovereign state. India is an independent sovereign state. So how we are having monopoly over Nepal? Can we take it as a literal meaning that we are having monopoly over Nepal in terms of political relation? Yes. How India was having political control over Nepal, or whether it was there or not. Economic we just mentioned. Economic, end of economic monopoly we already mentioned, and we mentioned lots of time. That is one example. Indian oil was the sole supplier of petroleum product, and because of this economic blockade, there is an end of that. Now, Indian oil is also providing oil to China, Nepal along with the China Petro or Petro China. Yes, everyone, I am asking this question. How? Was it there? India helped Nepal in framing the constitution, its political help only. Of course, earlier. Yes, anybody else? Ashwini said that. What about others? I just want to revise so that you will get to know. The first thing, Rana rule was there. End of Rana rule. At that time, India supported them to establish democracy. Second thing we mentioned, first Jana Andolan. India helped Nepal to make a pact with Nepali Congress and monarchy. Third, second Jana Andolan. In the second Jan Andolan, India intervened in that, and because of that, Maoist came to mainstream politics. Don't you think so? It helped Nepal to establish peace in their country. And as I mentioned earlier also, that India didn't tap the opportunity. When India supported every aspect in the political terms, India doesn't want to take disadvantage of it, because our intention was always a noble when we deal with the Nepal. And now it is not at all the case. If you go through the statements of the prime ministers of Nepal, you will get to know that they considered it as a dominance of India. So now they want to India has Nepal in frame. Yes, I agree with Ashwini. Okay, clear. India support Nepal while framing the constitution. Clear. So, but now recent times, if you go through the statements given by their prime minister, you will get to know the change in the relationship between India and Nepal. They considered our help as a burden, and they considered it is a big brother approach. Clear? And they ended in all the aspects. Second, angle. Social angle. As India and Nepali people were having very cordial relation, as somebody said, roti beti and all. So matrimonial relations were always there with the Nepalese people. Even the Indian princely family is also having matrimonial relation with the Nepal. What about the social aspect? As you know, there was an earthquake. Do you remember there was an earthquake in Nepal? I think, if I'm not wrong, in 2015 or something, 15 or 16, there was a massive earthquake struck in Nepal, and India supported Nepal financially. But at the same time, Indian media, at the same time, Indian media portrayed Indian help in such a manner portrayed Indian health in such a manner that Nepal is considered it as a humiliation. Yes, Nilesh, we provided everything as our friend is there. Friend in need, friend indeed. But Indian media showed how India supported them. Means Indian media showed Nepal as a beggar and we are as a rich person. So such kind of scenario they created, and because of that reason, Indian media was banned.